Hey everybody, it's Michael, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the 2012 movie of Les Misérables that came out yesterday, December 25th. First of all, I want to talk about the characters. The first character on the list is Gavroche, and he was played by Daniel Huddlestone. I just think, I saw the 25th anniversary edition of the show, and I can't remember the actor that played him, but he did a great job in the 25th anniversary edition, and so did Daniel Huddlestone. One of the most significant scenes is Gavroche's death scene when they're all at the war and Gavroche goes to it was a little different in the musical, but in the movie, and before I go any further, this is a spoiler. All spoilers is going to be talking about the movie, so all spoiler alert, you know, just keep that, you know, don't get mad at me. So one of the most significant scenes in the movie for Gavroche is his death scene when he goes to give one of the dead members a flag, and he goes out there and he's singing, do you hear the people sing, and they shoot him, and he tries to put the flag there and he's still singing, and they shoot him again and he dies. And it was one of the most saddest deaths in the movie that there is, I think, because it was just, I mean, it made me jump in my chair. I was like, oh my gosh, because he was so funny throughout the whole movie, and I knew he was gonna die because I'd seen the show before, but it was pretty rough. So Daniel Huddlestone, he definitely did a great job. I'm not sure how old he is, but he really did a great job. The next person I want to talk about is Samantha Banks. It's Eponine. I don't know how to say that her name, but she did a great job. And I was talking to some of the people I went to see the movie with last night, and they said that Samantha Banks actually played her in the 25th anniversary edition, as well as the 10th anniversary edition on Broadway. And so I thought that was really great, and they said it was a big deal about her playing her in the movie, so I'm sure that was exciting. She has a great voice. When she did the On My Own in the Rain, everything was just, the rain was falling down, and she was so sad about Marius not loving her and choosing Cosette over her. And so it was really great how she just had a great tone of voice, and it was just, I thought she did a fabulous job. Another significant scene for her was A Little Fall of Rain. Her and Marius are there after she got shot, and she just showed him that she got shot, and she's obviously dying, and so they sing this song, and it's really sad. And right after the song, she dies in his arms, and it was just a love that never was meant to be. And so it's funny how I was talking to my friend last night, and that kind of relates to something that's going on in personal life, but it was really funny. And so, I mean, it wasn't funny that how she died, but it was funny how that storyline related to what we were talking about. It was, yeah. Anyways, I just thought it was really great how she portrayed Eponine, I don't know. Sorry. Eddie Redmayne played Marius Pontmercy, and he was great. His solo Empty Chairs and Empty Tables, his facial expressions during that whole song was great. He made me cry. Next, I want to talk about the Thénardiers. First, I'll start off with Sacha Baron Cohen as Thénardier. I thought, in general, I thought the Thénardiers were fine, but like one of my friends said last night that they just, and I felt this too. I felt like they did a fine job, but I just felt that they weren't mean enough. I mean, in the whole them being thieves was way overused. It was overused in the whole movie. How especially Master of the House. Now I give it to them. The vocals were great. The acting was great, but it was just, to me, it was just a whole. They overused it, and it just seemed like they were just thieves and not mean, vicious people that didn't love Cosette. I mean, they were obviously rude to Cosette, but they weren't like evil or mean or, you know, anything. It just wasn't there the same way it was in the Broadway show. Jenny Galloway played Madame Thénardier in the 25th and the 10th anniversary of Les Mis in 2000. 10 or 2 something a few years back, and I watched a YouTube video of the whole 25th anniversary, and Jenny Galloway, she was hilarious as Madame Thénardier. Now Helena Bonham Carter, I thought she did a great job too, but I just felt like she was just there, you know. It wasn't just like, yeah, like I'm quoting one of my friends, but I completely agree with, when they came on film, it wasn't like, oh no, they're here, or oh good, they're here. It was just like, okay, they're here. And what they did was funny, but it just wasn't any originality, I guess. It was just overused about them being thieves. And they had a significant part in the film, and I love Helena Bonham Carter, but I'm not too familiar with Sacha Baron Cohen. But Helena, I'm really familiar with her from Alice in Wonderland and Sweeney Todd and a couple other films she's done. But I just felt like they didn't. And Madame Thénardier is definitely one of my favorite roles in the whole movie, especially when young Cosette is doing Castle on a Cloud and Madame Thénardier comes in. And my favorite line is when she comes in and she tells Cosette to go out into the woods and fetch some water from the well, and that line is, "Enough of that, or I'll forget to be nice." And it was just one of my favorite lines from the 25th anniversary, because Jenny Galloway did it perfectly. But I mean, I laughed when Helena did it, but it just didn't have the same feeling to me. So yeah, that's the Thénardiers for you. Amanda Seyfried as Cosette. Let me just say, Amanda has a phenomenal voice. She hit those high notes perfectly, and oh my goodness, she blew me away. Her solo almost brought me to tears. I just felt like she did a fabulous job, and it was just wonderful. I'm not too familiar with Amanda Seyfried's acting, but everybody loves her. I should have Wikipedia'd her before I started this video so I could have seen what other work she's done, but she was fabulous and everybody loves her. So I'm going to definitely do that as soon as I get done with this video. So Amanda Seyfried as Cosette, she was just fabulous, and that's really it. Isabel Allen played young Cosette, and she did Castle on a Cloud, and I'm not so familiar with Les Mis right now, but I'm a lot more familiar with it than I was before. And Castle on a Cloud is one of my favorite songs from the whole show, and I just feel like it's such a significant part from the film, as right after Fantine's death and young Cosette comes in. But I just felt like Isabel Allen, she did a great job. Next is Russell Crowe as Javert. Now Russell Crowe, I mean, I know he's extremely famous and people love him, people hate him, but I'm not that much familiar with him. But I know Amanda Seyfried and Russell Crowe, and what are you doing, Michael? But I just felt like Russell Crowe, I thought he did a great job, because he made me hate him. I'm not sure about everybody else because I haven't asked their opinions, but I was talking to my friend Shelly, and she said his suicide scene, he was standing over the bridge, and that was his final scene. Obviously it was a suicide scene. And when he was standing over the bridge, she said she was thinking in her brain, just jump, I want you to die. And I didn't feel that strongly about it, but I kind of felt the same way, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. Speaking of his suicide, I just felt that when he jumped and his body hit that bridge and it made that thump sound before it went into like that whirlpool of water, I was like, Jesus. And like when I heard that sound of his body hitting the bridge, it like made me jump in my seat. And Hannah was sitting next to me, and I almost like grabbed her because it was so intense. But I just thought he did a great job. Another significant scene with Javert that was one of my favorites is the confrontation between him and Valjean when they're fighting. And in the show they just sung it in the 25th anniversary edition. I didn't know they were actually fighting, and it was really intense how they had it choreographed and how they just portrayed it. And Javert, Russell Crowe, he was just so angry and hated him so much after Valjean, all that Valjean did, and he was still. And the thing about it, Valjean is a great guy in this film. You know, he's been through all this stuff, and Javert still hates him, and because he's so caught up in his job and the law, and you know, Valjean doesn't hold that against him, and Valjean had actually had a chance to kill Javert in the movie, and in the whole show, always, but he lets him go. And Javert still wants him to pay his parole, and it just shows how, you know, caught up that Javert is and insensitive he is with, and he really has no feeling. The whole reason Javert kills himself is because Valjean has defeated him, and he just says there can't be a world without Valjean. I mean, he says there can't be a world with him and Valjean. It's either Valjean or Javert. The next to the last person I want to talk about is my favorite person in the entire movie, and if you haven't guessed it from process of elimination, because I've talked about everybody else, Anne Hathaway as Fantine. Let me just tell you, okay, if I could describe her in 4 words, I would say lovely, beautiful, fabulous, and amazingly, wonderfully talented, beautifulicious. That's what I would say. Okay, she did a phenomenal job. I Dream a Dream is one of my favorite songs in the whole show, and I was kind of nervous because I didn't know. I'm familiar with Anne Hathaway, but I never knew she could sing like that, y'all. So her performance of I Dream a Dream was fabulous. So let me just tell you how the whole Fantine breakdown happens. After Valjean gets his whole appearance thing changed, they go into this factory and they're all working in, and Fantine is back there as they're all doing this sewing and everything, and so they're singing at the end of the day, and basically this man comes in, he's flirting with Fantine, and he hits her on the butt, and she, you know, like pushes him off, and then she has one of these disgusting ladies finds her letter, and basically she just tells him what's going on. She's paying the Thénardiers to keep Cosette, and she has to do this, and the man, because she won't, you know, have sex with him, she basically throws her out of the job she has, and she's on the street, so she's forced into prostitution, and she is just leaving, and she has, you know, and she had this beautiful, long, beautiful, gorgeous black hair, and she's walking, and she has to find a way to make some money because of she has to pay the Thénardiers to keep Cosette, and they are already like draining her of whatever she has, and so these people are saying, okay, I'll give you however many francs for that or whatever, and so this one lady says, I'll pay you 10 francs for your locks of hair, and so. And, you know, I mean, Fantine, she's kind of reluctant to do it, as anybody would be, because, like, her hair is, you know, it's like, it was really, really long, but she has to do it to keep Cosette alive. And in the movie, they do kind of a horrible job, and that was, like, terrible, because I hate when, like, girls cut their hair. I don't know, it just makes me itch. And so, but when she did, I mean, I didn't feel bad, because I knew, and that was one of the things about acting, you know, she changed her whole appearance, and she stuck with that appearance for a long time until her hair grows back. She cut off all of her hair, let them cut off all of her hair, and that's what I feel like she did one of the most ultimate acting things there is, because she stuck with that, and she did it for a character, for her job, and she looks great with it. But I just feel like when you go that far, you know what she's doing, what she loves, and she's doing what she has a passion for. For one role, she did that, and I just felt like that was phenomenal that she would do that. So I just thought that was one of the most touching moments in the movie, when she had her hair cut off, and she cried about it, and, you know, it was awful. And then when they had to extract her teeth out, and they were treating her awful on the street, and it was just really, it was really bad. But you know, it was just one of those moments. But anyways, then after she basically has to have sex with this other guy for whatever reason, to make money, and after that he leaves, and she sings I Dream a Dream. Now, all the music from the show was filmed live on set, and oh, Jesus, I can't even explain what a great job she did, because I've never cried in a movie before, but she made me cry. Anne Hathaway, this girl, she was phenomenal. I mean, it was just great. I thought she did a great portrayal of her, and I was sitting there sobbing because she did such a beautiful job, and she came off so real. And I mean, everybody did, but I mean, she was just great. And if she is not nominated for an Emmy or Oscar, or whatever, I'm gonna be like, excuse me, you know, because she was just. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. And then when she sang "Come to Me," with her and seeing Cosette right before she died, saying "Cosette, come in," and everything, and then right before she died, that was one of the most touching scenes, and I cried during that because it was just so touching. So Anne Hathaway, kudos. My hat, jacket, everything is tipped to you, because girl, you was phenomenal. So that's Anne Hathaway as Fontaine. Hugh Jackson as Jean Valjean. Now, the first scene starts off with everybody in the workplace, and they're singing "Look down, da 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 da, look down." You know that song. And that's one of my favorite songs too. I love that. I mean, the music is just great. I mean, I'm gonna say every song is my favorite song, but the music is really great. So Valjean, in the beginning, Hugh Jackman, his beard is like really long, his head is shaved, and it's really disgusting. And so he goes and he's bad, and he steals from the bishop, and the bishop is a really nice guy. And so what I'm trying to get to is when he's singing his Valjean soliloquy, and he says, "Enough is enough. I'm tired of this world, and now a new world must begin." And it goes from him being disgusting and, you know, just basically a peasant, to him being the mayor of the thing. Everybody respects him and everything. So I just thought that was really great how they showed 8 years later how much of a change he had in his physical appearance. And that's another thing. He had to get his head shaved to film that. I'm sure they had to film that after the movie, because his hair was grown back and everything. So it was just, I thought that was one of the most significant moments for Valjean. Final thing I want to talk about is Fantine appearing to Valjean when he's dying with Cosette and Marius. He was just, I just felt like that was so significant when she came and she says, "You're gonna be okay," and she looks so beautiful and angel-like because she has the white dress on. It's just great. So I just thought she was fabulous in that, and that was one of the most touching scenes. In the ending, they're all singing "Do You Hear the People Sing?" and it was such a full and rich sound, and it was all sung there, and Valjean was with Fantine, and they're basically going to heaven, and Cosette and Marius get married, and it's just a really, really touching scene. So I thought that was wonderful.